another Gettin Real with Ashleydawn, and today I want to talk to you about age ain't nothing but a number, because it's not. Your age is a number, and that number just signifies how many years you've been on this earth. That's it. It doesn't symbolize your intelligence level, your maturity. It doesn't symbolize how successful you are. It doesn't symbolize how wise or intelligent you are. It doesn't symbolize how kind or compassionate you are. It literally is a number that just shows how many years you've been on this earth. That's it. It doesn't show how young or how old you are. It is just a number. It's just a number. However, with that said, do I think that it matters? Yes, I do think it matters, especially in dating. I think dating and relationships, it matters a lot. Because I'm not going to date somebody that's old enough to be my dad or old enough to be my grandfather. I'm not going to. It's disgusting. I'm not going to do that. Now, if that's what you're going to do, that's on you. That's between you and God. I have nothing to do with it. However, for me, for my personal, no. If I have a daughter and she tells me that there is a grandfather hitting on her, I'm going to approach him in the most mama bear way and let him know right quick, you better look at somebody else and not my daughter. And actually, you better look at nobody, or you'll be looking at some prison bars. Anyway, it's not my point of this message. My point is, age is just a number. Do not let somebody look down on you for your age. Right? That's biblical. It's in the Bible. I wanted to do this video because I was talking to a friend and they were saying, you have a lot of younger friends. Like, you have a lot of 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 21-year-old, 25, 26, 27-year-old friends. Like, you're 34. Don't you think you should have friends your age? And I stopped him and I said, well, actually, I do have my friends my age. And I have friends older. I have a 71-year-old friend. I have a 67-year-old friend. I have friends that are all different ages. I don't judge friends. I don't pick friends based on their age. Like, how old are you? You're 34. Oh, come over here. We're going to be besties. No, I don't do that. Just like I don't look at skin color or look at hair color or look at eye color or look at, oh, you got money? You can come be my friend. Oh, you're broke? You can come be my friend. No. I look at your heart. Who are you as a person? I don't want some ugly-hearted people being my friends. Personally, I don't. Like, I don't want that energy. I'll encourage you. I'll wish you the best, but I'm not trying to have that energy next to me. Not happening. Anyway, my point about age just being a number. Yesterday, my 22-year-old friend prayed for me and encouraged me and spoke wisdom into me. And then, later on in the day, my 71-year-old friend spoke some courage and encouragement and love into me. Now, is the 71-year-old's wisdom more important than the 22-year-old's wisdom? No. That wisdom was very different from person to person. Excuse me, I just burped. But that wisdom is different. Does their age determine how wise they are? No. It says King Solomon was the wisest person in the Bible. Why? Because that's what he prayed for. God blessed him with wisdom. Listen, if you're a 20-year-old and you're watching my video and you're like, oh, I can't wait to be this age. Stop that right now. God has given you wisdom in your 20 years that there are people in their 70 years don't have, because God has given it to you for a specific purpose. Don't you dare let somebody look down on you because of your age. Don't let somebody make you feel old or make you feel young. Listen, you are who God created you to be. The number of years you've been on this earth is because God saw it fit for you to be here at this specific time. And I'll tell you something else. I used to always struggle when I was little, because I did have a sphere of different kinds of friends when I was little too. I was friends with my teachers, and I'm still friends with a lot of those teachers. I was friends with some kids in my class. I was friends with upperclassmen, lowerclassmen, and I was friends with the ushers and the ushers' wives at church. I used to go to Bible studies for 80-year-olds when I was like 5. And I learned so much. And I loved it. I went to teen Bible studies when I was in elementary school. I helped out in Sunday school classes when I was in Sunday school class. I was wanting to teach others. I was wanting to be a part of others. And all throughout my life, I've either been too young or I've been too old. Oh, don't you think you're too old to be hanging out with them? Don't you think you're too young to be hanging out with them? No, I think that I am Ashleydawn. And Ashleydawn was created with a purpose and a plan that God has set. Nobody needs to understand the purpose that God has for me except God and me. That's it. But if you're thinking, well, I'm only 19, what do I have to offer the world? A whole lot. A whole lot. Your life experiences, I don't have your life experiences. The person next to you don't have your life experiences. Those experiences have been gifted to you, some good, some not good, trust me, I get it, have been gifted to you to bring wisdom and to bring healing and to bring encouragement to the people around you so that they can see, hey, that mountain, she climbed it. Here's how you can climb it too. That thing that everyone told her she wasn't going to survive, she survived. Look, you can survive it too. That thing everyone said he couldn't do, guess what he did? My friend Tyler, shout out Tyler, he hates when I shout him out, but I love him. And he is the biggest encourager and watches all my videos and encourages me and gives me great ideas. And he's a great friend and I love you. Anyway, Tyler has overcome things that nobody else in the world has overcome. And he's got the wisdom from it. He's got the intelligence from overcoming things that nobody else has overcome. And he's young. And it would be very easy to be like, oh, you're young. You don't know anything about life. Yes, he does. He knows a lot about life. He sure does. I will go a step farther. I'm a preschool teacher. Do you know how many lessons I have learned from 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds that they have said something so profound that God has used them to speak, and I've just sat there and I've had to write it down, and I've been like, wow, God, I hear you. God will use a 3-year-old. God will use a 4-year-old. God will use anybody that allows themselves to be used by God. Can I tell you a story? I'm going to anyway because this is my channel and you have no choice. Well, you do. You can click it out and that's on you. But when I was a little girl, I would go to school. I'd go to Sunday school and I would learn a Bible story at 3 years old in Bible songs, and I would come home and I would stand on my little coffee table and I would preach those same stories to my parents, and I would sing those same songs to my parents. And when my dad's little biker friends would come over, guess what? I would preach them stories to them bikers, and I would sing those songs to the bikers. And them bikers would never once step foot in church. They didn't want anything to do with the holier-than-thou people, the people that pointed their nose at bikers and put their fingers in their faces. Because this is at a time when biking wasn't cool. It wasn't what lawyers did. It was what outlaws did. And it wasn't a hobby on the weekend. It was their daily driver. It was their vehicle. It was a lot of them's only vehicle. I can remember being dropped off at school in the pouring rain on a Harley that my dad built because that was our car. And my friends are like, it's raining. I'm like, that's our ride. It rains, snow. Actually, there's no snow in Florida. But whatever the weather is, this is what we're coming in on. And a lot of people didn't think it was very cool then. But guess what? They think it's cool now. But anyway, back to the thing. I was preaching at 3 years old to 50, 40, 30, 20-year-old bikers. Was I too young to preach to them? No. God saw an opportunity to soften hearts that had been hardened by life and by people and by circumstances. And he used a cute little 3-year-old to do it. Don't you dare look at yourself and say, well, I'm too young, or I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. Do you want to be used by God? Simple question. Do you want to be used by God? You say no? Fine, he won't use you. You say yes, then guess what? He's already using you. And you don't even know it. He's already using you at your work. He's already using you in your friendships. He's already using you in every single place that you're at. And the more control you give to him, because really being a Christian is just yielding our control to his and saying, God, have your way. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Have your way. I know that I think I know better than you, but God, I'm going to trust you. God, I'm going to have faith. Because faith is just trusting what our eyes can't see. It's just trusting with our heart what our eyes can't see. It's trusting God with the impossible. That's faith. You use faith every day. When you sit in a chair, you have faith that chair is going to hold you. When you get in your car, you have faith that car is going to take you where you want to go. You use faith all the time. It's just in different things. When you hold a cup to your mouth, you have faith that liquid's going to enter your mouth. And you're going to be able to be refreshed and to drink. You hold hot food up to your mouth. You have faith that you're going to eat it and not burn yourself. Sometimes you blow on it. Do you get what I mean? You use faith every day. My point is, do you want to be used by God? Tell God. Say, God, I want to be used by you. Use me, Lord. Here's my life. Take it. Use it. Mold it. Let it be for your glory. And He will. I told you, He already is. If you have allowed God to be in your life, He's already using you. No matter how old you are, no matter how poor you are, how broke you are, how rich you think you are, it don't matter. God's already using you. And He's going to keep using you as long as you give Him the permission to. God is a gentleman. He's not going to force anything on you. He's not going to force His love on you. It's a free gift. It's there if you want it. He's not going to force heaven on you. You can choose hell. That's your choice. He's a loving God. He's not going to force you to go to heaven. If you want to go to hell, He will let you. If you want to live a life apart of Him, from Him, He will let you. If you want to do terrible things and be a horrible person, He will let you. He's not going to strike you down. He'll give you free will. If you want to be saved, take it. It's a free gift He offers. Just got to believe in Jesus. Just got to ask Him to be Lord of your life. Just have to receive His forgiveness. And then forgive yourself. If you want to be used by God, there is nothing that will stop you except you. That's it. Your age is not going to stop you. When I'm telling you, I have been ministered to from kids to 100-year-olds and everywhere in between. I don't ask somebody when they're encouraging me, how old are you? Can I see your driver's license? Can you show me your driver's license? I just want to make sure you're old enough to encourage me. I just want to make sure you're old enough to inspire me. No. When you clicked on this YouTube, did you look to see how old I was? No. So then why do you think that your age or lack of age disqualifies you? It doesn't. Do not let anyone look down at you for your age. No matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. And don't put these unrealistic standards on yourself. By this age, I need to do this. And by this age, I need to do that. Who puts that on you? God don't. God didn't give you a rule book and a thing. By this age, you need to do this. And by this age, you need to do this. Actually, if you look at the Bible, He proved over and over again that age don't matter. God's power supersedes age. God likes doing things that don't make sense to us. He uses the things of the foolish to confound the wise. He uses the things of the weak to confound the strong. People are in awe, scratching their heads like, huh? What? Like, God, how is that? That little puny little girl with tiny little arms, she's lifting that? How? God's strength? That little teeny girl, she's walking through that storm in her life and she's still smiling. She's not letting the enemy defeat her. How? There are people that literally gave their life to Jesus yesterday that have a closer walk with Jesus than I do. And you're thinking, what? No way. Yeah, there are. It says you have not because you ask not. If you want something and you ask God for it, He'll give it to you. He will let you be as close to Him as you want to be. And He'll let you be as far away from Him as you want to be too. There are people that used to be drug addicts that gave their life to Jesus that are so desperate for Him that they fall on their face in worship of Him every day. If I'm being honest, I don't do that. Some days, but not every day. Not every second of every day. I can't judge my walk with God based on somebody else's. I don't know the cost of what they gave up. I don't know, like that story about the alabaster box and Mary pouring out her perfume. I don't know how much that perfume cost her. They say that it was a year's wages. And for some people, that's a lot of money. For me, it's not. But are you willing to pour out your year's wages for God on God's feet? If I'm being honest, a lot of us aren't. So how can we judge somebody based on how old they are? We don't know how close they are to God. Their age has nothing to do with that. We don't know how much they love God. We don't know what they're willing to give up for God, what they're willing to lay at His altar and say, God, take it, have your way. We don't know. And we don't know ourselves, as far as we have no idea the way we look to God. The more we spend in the Bible, we can learn. But our age doesn't determine our worth. It doesn't determine our worth on earth. And it surely doesn't determine our worth in heaven. It doesn't. So can we stop looking at our age and constantly judging other people by their age and thinking that, oh, you got to be this many years to tell me what to do. You got to be, you got to spend this much time in the pulpit before I'm going to listen to a sermon that you preach. Stephen Furtick talks about that a lot, and I love Stephen Furtick. His messages hit me some kind of way. And he talks about when he first started preaching. And a lot of people talked down to him. A lot of people told him he'd never make it. He was too young. He was too green. They wouldn't give him a chance. I think he's doing all right for himself right now. He's sharing the love of Jesus all over the world. Not the country, all over the world. He's writing worship songs that people are singing literally all over the world on Spotify and Pandora. Elevation Worship. Shout out. But seriously, and all those people that told him he'd never amount to nothing because he was too young. What if he gave up? What if he stopped? What if you stopped? What if you gave up just because somebody told you were too young? Or maybe on the other side of that, they told you were too old, that you'd lived your life, that you're past your prime. Listen, you are not past nothing. Your prime is now. This is it. God's using you if you want Him to. Don't let anyone make you feel less than or make you feel more than. I know some people have said, oh, Ashleydawn, you're too much. I'm too much for people that don't appreciate me. You're right. But I'm never too much for God. And I'm never too much for the people that love me. And neither are you. I hope this encourages you. Stop looking at them numbers on your birthday cake. Stop looking at them candles. Stop looking at that number on your driver's license. Look at God. What does God have for you? Who does God say that you are? Are you giving Him permission to use you? Because He will. In ways that you can't even imagine. In ways that will seriously overwhelm you. That'll bring you to tears. I'll say something else. I preached at a conference in Atlanta with some of the most amazing women that I've met. That was one of my favorite conferences I've ever spoken at. And most of all of those women were over 40. Some were, 50 and 60. I was there was a couple other ones, one of the youngest speakers there. And I had 60 and 70-year-old women coming up to me crying, thanking me for sharing my testimony, thanking me for sharing what God was doing in my life. There was one of the speakers, she was the youngest, I think she was 17 or 18. When I tell you, the room that we were in was shaken by her presence. Shaken by her presence. She wasn't even 20 years old, and the room was shaken by her presence. For you people that are under 20, that are doubting yourself, that are doubting what God can use you for, maybe you're in college, maybe you're just getting out of high school, the rooms that you're in will be shaken if you allow God to use you in them. I promise you. It does not matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. God will use whoever wants to be used, and He'll use them at the capacity that they want to be used. You want to be used a little bit? God will use you a little bit. You want to be used a little bit more than that? God will use you a little bit more than that. you want your life to be spent for His glory, it will be. God is a gentleman. You have not because you ask not. If you ask Him for something, He's going to do it. May not look the way that you expect, may not look the way that you plan. He may surprise you, but He's faithful. I love you. Your age is just a number. Sure is. You can have friends younger than you, older than you, or your same age. Don't judge your friends based on their age. Age is just a number. You are seen at whatever age you are. You are celebrated at whatever age you are. And you are loved at whatever age you are. I love you, but more importantly, God loves you. Right now, right in this minute, He loves you. You don't have to get older. You don't have to get wiser. You don't have to get more money. You don't have to change anything about you. You are loved dearly and deeply. I'll catch you in the next one.